Hello, everyone. I am your host, Anthony, and this is my viewpoint right after this. Hello, once again. Hope everyone is having an awesome day. The topic is: does prayer work? Yes and no. So I made a list of things that could hinder your prayer or what you pray for. It's my own list. If you have some different ideas, put them in the comment section, or things that you consider work, put it in the comment section. Or if I miss something, put it in the comment section. But this is my viewpoint, and this is my list of things that could hinder your prayer life. In no specific order, I just have eight, but no specific order. So the first one is malice, the intentions in your heart to do evil, or you just an evil person that can hinder your prayer life or hinder your prayer or God. We can't say what will God answer your prayer. I'm just saying things that could hinder your prayer life. And if you don't know what evil is, all you got to do is look at how the world is today. Look at the kids being killed, look at innocent people being killed, look at how the government is treating people, look at the homelessness on the street. So it's a lot of things out here that people do that's evil, but yet people want to pray. So that can hinder your prayer life. Number two, hatred, uh, a dislike. Uh, I believe that hatred and dislike fall under hatred, but I believe there's a difference between disliking someone and hating someone, because you can dislike a person for a lot of reasons, but you shouldn't dislike someone basically because of, you know, they just so different than you. You know, we should look at people based on the character of that individual or the personality. So we shouldn't dislike somebody because they're of a different culture, or they are a different color than you. That can hinder your prayer. Let's talk about it. Number three, asking for things you want rather than things that you need. Because people do often come before God asking for things that they want, when your need is always greater than your want. Let me say that again. Your need is always greater than your want. Let's move on. Number four, not putting forth an effort of the thing that you're asking God for. You don't put forth no effort. You just ask and wait on God to do it. Putting forth the effort when you're asking God for something that you need Say you work in a job and all you do is, you know, you work 4 days, you off three. In the 4 days you work in 10-hour shifts. And and you saying, Lord, I'm gonna be short even with the 40 hours. And you probably short $300. And out the blue, your supervisor says, you can stay 2 hours each day, of your 4 days, so you can work 12 hours per day, 48 hours plus the supervisor say you could come in one of your 3 days that you have off, and you decline that offer. That was your blessing to get that $300. Now, if he only offered that one day or a couple of days, and it still may not be enough, but you don't know what God have in store concerning that, because you had already turned down the initial part to start it off. What's the overtime? What's the extra hours? But you took it upon yourself because you're just waiting for money to just rain down or somebody to give it to you. Had If you take that job or take those extra hours, it may be God. We don't know what God would have done, but until you make an effort, you will never know. Number five, no respect. You have to know who you are talking to in prayer, because that can hinder your prayer. When you go talk to your mother or your parents, your grandparents, your boss at work, you don't approach them any kind of way. You don't ask your parents, the man or woman on your job, your grandparents, any kind of way. You approach them respectfully. So you should respect God and know who God is when you asking God for something. You just don't get on your knees and just start just shooting off, and you haven't gave God the proper respect that he deserve. That can hinder your prayer. Number six, the things you're asking, believe that God can do it. Stop doubting. It's almost like if you approach your parents, say your parents, and you say, "Mom or Dad, I need this and I need that," and in the same breath you say, "Well, I know you ain't gonna do it." First thing your parents gonna say is, "Why are you asking?" If you already believe I ain't gonna do it, why are you even asking me? So that can hinder your prayer. Number seven, your timing is not God's timing. When you ask your parents for something, sometimes they will go right out that day. Sometimes they would wait. But it's not when you want it, it's when they go get it. Do your parents even jump when you say you have the money? And you say, "Mom, Dad, could you run me here?" 9 out of 10, do they just jump up and go? No, they wait when they feel like it. It's the same way you should look at God. Because he's God doesn't mean he's going to do it when you want it. He's going to do it when he feels like it. And can't nobody tell you when God will feel like doing something, because we already know God would do things in God's timing. We have to be patient and wait. It's patience. Number 8, when we do something for someone, we come to God telling God, Lord, I did this. God, I did that. And all along, when you was doing something for someone, you had the bullhorn out. You promoted it. Or as I see on YouTube, oftentimes you see someone homeless. Somebody's recording an individual giving this guy money, clothes, or taking him to get something to eat, or taking that person shopping. But it's being recorded. You already have your reward. I saw it done all the time. But yet we go to God and say, Lord, I did this and I did that, and you thinking you done something. You already got your reward. Why? Because you got the reward of the people saying, yeah, oh, that was a great job. You did good. I saw it in church. You know, it's offering time, and you see all of these elders or whatnot walk up and hand their money to the man that's behind the that's in the pulpit and everything, handing him the money, who is um the speaker or whatnot, and that's just running the um receiving the money and everything, that called for the ushers to bring out the plates and everything for offering, and all the elders walk up and hand their check or their money, and their name is being called off right along with the amount that they give. So this man walks up and give $40. Now, mind you, everybody 500, 200, 1,000. So his other elder gave $40. Now he know that everybody's going to be called his name, but he not ashamed of what he gave. He gave 40. And this individual that was sitting um behind, I think it was either in front or behind, and they said, man, I know he embarrassed. And the wife turned around and said, why should he be embarrassed? He gave what he had. See, but yet these people go to God and talk, Lord, I did this and I give on that. No, you got your reward for that. Every time I gave an offering, I very rarely put my name on it, because I wasn't given for my name to be shown nowhere. I'm giving them. We ain't got to keep track of how much I done gave a week. You ain't got to keep a detail of my offering and my giving. You know. So when you go to church and you might need something, they go to the book and start looking up what you gave. So I guess if all you can afford for the whole month is maybe $50, but you have a need. It's not like the church is starving, and you might say, well, I have a bill that's short, maybe $150. They look and say, well, he ain't gave but $50. You know, Nothing we can do for you. So you got to be in 1,000 before you can. So I'm saying these are the things that can hinder you in prayer when we go before God. We have to stop thinking because we done gave something, but we only giving out of our abundance. We're not giving out of our heart and the love for just giving. But if you see something different and things that can hinder your prayer, put it in the comment section. I love to hear from you. Now, these are the things that maybe work in prayer. These are my list, my viewpoint. Let's talk about it. Number one, not in no specific order. Number one, acknowledge. We have to know who God is before we start asking God for something. We have to give him reverence. We have to know that this is God whom we asking for something. If you give your parents respect when you go and ask them for something, how much more should you go to God in respect also? Giving him reverence because he deserved that. This is why prayer works if you approach God acknowledging who he is. The second one, thanking him. Thanking God for what he has already done in your life. It's not so much the big things, it's just the little small things. Just the little small things that we overlook. And if you notice, and if you have read the Bible, I'm kind of give an analogy and hope that it's kind of the same. When Jesus was born, and Jesus said that I am he whom you've been waiting for, and he came low, but people were expecting God to come as this and on these chariots of fire and sitting high as a king, but Jesus came real low. Oftentimes, because of the things that we have, we overlook the simple things in life, and we often focus on or associate God with the great things that's going on in our life, and we associate God with that, but we never would associate God with just the simple things in life. So if we approach prayer thanking God for just the simple things, prayer can work. Number three, God's will for your life. Everybody have a different idea of what God's will is for an individual's life. Um, my take on it is this. I believe God's will for your life is just simply God is just making a better you, bringing out the best of you, bringing out the best love in you, the best affection of you, the best person that have a heart for people, that care about people, not being ill will towards or have malice in your heart towards anyone. He just working on making you a better you, because we all going to make bad decisions. There's no thing of every decision you make is a perfect decision, because even in your perfect decision, it can always fall short. So I believe God's will for a person's life is God making that person a better him or her. If you see it differently, put it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Number four, say what you need and be realistic. Don't pray for things that's unrealistic. Number five, asking God for forgiveness. We have to ask God for forgiveness, not trying to run a con game on God, but really believing that you falling short in this area. There's nothing wrong with a person trying to overcome their demons and praying to God for help in this area. But if you're just trying to con God by simply just asking God to forgive you, when really in your heart, you don't really believe that, that's going to hinder your prayer. So go to God asking God to forgive you for things that you know you have done wrong. Things that you may have looked at somebody in the wrong light, or you may have said some things about a culture of people or that's different than you. You can't be asking God for something and expect for God to bless you when you have hatred in your heart. So we have to go to God asking God to forgive us and mean it. Number six, pray honestly. We have to be honest and when we come before God. Nothing wrong coming before God and saying, Lord, oftentimes when I pray, sometimes I say, Lord, I'm kind of upset with you today. And I state why I'm or why I felt upset with God. Don't mean I was right, but I do have the right to express myself, you know. And if we believe that God is all knowing, God know what you're gonna pray for before you pray for. So what can you hide from God? So I often tell God, I was upset because I may felt God should have done something and God didn't, you know. So be honest when you come before God. And number 8, we have to understand, and it didn't take me going to church to understand this. Just from me reading the Bible and just from me meditating and my encounters with God, I understood that what we call the Bible or the good book, or if you read the Torah and all of these other books, I understood that God was so much more than what's being presented in a book. I'm talking about the God who is the root and the essence of love. I knew that God was much more than what's being presented in a book. Oftentimes you hear people say that they have this relationship with God, but yet they put God in this book. That means you conduced God within the book. And yet, I believe it says in the Bible that if they had recorded all the works of Jesus, there is no library that can handle the volume of books. If that's the case, why do we conduce God to a book? I don't conduce God to a book. I believe God is so much more. I believe that the Bible, the good book, whatever you choose to call it, it's a reference point to start. It's a guide of understanding God. It gives you uh, direction or instructions in a way. But make no mistake about it, God is much more than the book. But I thank everybody for watching. And if there's anything that you think I left out concerning does prayer work, leave it in the comment section. And I thank you all for watching and continue to have an awesome day. And until next time, peace.